Okay, regular bike fits. Why? Why is that important? Like, generally, a lot of people go for a bike fit and they want like this magic fix, like straight away.
Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Depending on how long you've done like the sport, you're better off, like ideally, if you could have 2 fits a year with, like a good fitter, and then you can you don't have to like make drastic changes, because a lot of people just want to do so much, like in one hit, and you just can't do like everything overnight. And a key part of having a bike fit, like anybody that's competent in doing a bike fit can generally set you'd like to think they could set a saddle height, and they can get like the stack and the reach right, like on like a bike. The more bike fits I see, I'm not sure that's always like the case, but if you are quite far out in terms of like the biomechanics of it, a lot of the time you need to go away, and it's probably going to take you like 6 months to get like the right muscle recruitment, and then you can adapt the aero into that. Some people, they might have like the aero, but then they start to get like a lot of niggles. So I'd always say that if you're in a position that you can, like have like regular check-ins, then it's definitely worth kind of investing in, really. And you will get to a point that, that checkup isn't regular. It might be, after you've done like 2 of those things, it might be like 1 to 2 years down the line that you can then come back in, and you just make subtle refinements. Like the more bike fits I'm seeing, especially like on like time trial bikes, I'm shocked at like how far people are out. I think there's a very basic understanding, like globally in the industry, of just how people don't quite get it, especially like for triathletes. It'd be the same for coming here, that a lot of people, they might understand like the biomechanics from like a simple bike fit, but then they're not comprehending this athlete has then got to run off the bike, or sometimes it is that you're just trying to chase every aero gain that's like possible if you're like a pure time trialist. So I definitely think a lot of people watching this, that if you've never had a bike fit and you're trying to find like those, sometimes it's not like marginal gains, they can be like big shifts, but you just can't do it all at once, really. So it's definitely worth considering. When it comes to like bike fit, I would try and get all my bike fitted by somebody that you build trust in. Like, it's a lot more complex on a road, it's a lot more complex on a time trial bike versus a road bike. And before I did all of this and I didn't know much about like bike fitting, I used to almost like copy the fit I had on my time trial bike and stick that on my road bike. It just doesn't work. And ultimately, you're always trying to get like two different things out of a road bike and a TT bike. Realistically, you don't really want to be just like riding a time trial position on both bikes, and like you're rotating your pelvis like all the time. It's like that activation of different muscle groups that can really help, really. So I definitely advise anyone that like you're watching this, and try and get all your bikes fitted at some point, really. The performance gains in all of those could be quite significant, especially if you want to, it's not even marginal gains a lot of the time, they can be big gains.
Not to everything.
With long hair.
Gravel bike, I tell you now, is like a key one to get fitted. I found and I've messed around like a lot with gravel bikes. It's probably the hardest bike to fit a lot of the time because of the layback on, and every gravel bike is so different. I always struggle with like the layback of a lot of these bikes. So yeah, definitely getting your gravel bike is a key one really. The reach of it, and the setback of like the saddle, because you generally find that you've got a really short stem on most of these bikes, really high stack, and then the saddle's like slammed backwards. So how you're actually activating like the pedal technique, it can be quite, it's just not great.